Greetings, everyone, and good afternoon, and welcome to the Ambassadorial Wing and another installment of Afternoons with the Ambassador. And if this is your first time to the Ambassadorial Wing, welcome. I am glad that you are here, and make sure you smash that like button and share this out. And if you are a first time visitor or you catch us on the replay, consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoy my content. And, well, let's begin. And just a quick shout out to the chat. William Jackson, good to see you, and glad you're here, as I said in the chat, obviously. And today, going to be continuing my review of Batman the Animated Series from the 1990s. And as obviously, as you can see, it's just me today. My panel, they are off doing other things. They're busy with life and what have you. But I don't want to discontinue this series. I love it that much. And I love this series. I love talking about it. And we're going to take some time today and discuss it. So, and also to the chat, Big Daddy O John Bamford. John, good to see you. Hey, John, if you watch these episodes and you want to join in, I did put the link in the Hall of Justice chat over on Twitter. And Keely Chow and Any World But Ours, gentlemen, good to see you all as well. Any World, I want to let you know just real quick, I found you on Twitch and you got yourself another follower. So happy to support a fellow content creator and good to see you as always. But today we are going to be discussing the two episodes, Appointment on Crime Alley and P.O.V. And honestly, yeah, Keely Chow. I also love Batman the Animated Series as much as. Oh, there's John. Okay. Any World, you're welcome, bud. Hey, John.
Hello.
How you doing, man? Likewise. We keep this up.
Oh, man, I love this. I just watched it just literally before the stream started. I was like, oh, I'm ready.
Good. Excellent. Well, and always glad you're here,
awesome.
man.
I was watching it with my daughter, and she loves it. She loved it.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. These two episodes are a little bit different in tone and tenor than what we usually get. Honestly, one is more Appointment on Crime Alley is more of a. It doesn't focus on one of your atypical superhero, one of your rogues gallery villains. It focuses more on the character of Rogue Daggett, who's more of like a crime boss more than like one of the costumed rogues from Batman's gallery. And then, of course, POV. POV is a very interesting episode because it deals with a sting operation being run by Gotham PD that goes sideways, and Montoya and Bullock and one other officer get brought in by Internal Affairs because, well, the guy thinks that, Hackle, I think is the detective Hackle from Gotham PD Internal Affairs. But I don't know where you want to start, John. We can do Crime Alley or we can do POV.
Yep.
Okay.
Crime Alley sounds good to me.
Yeah. I one thing I will comment on in terms of the art design for Appointment in Crime Alley, it has a very distinct feel and design for it from a lot of the other episodes that we see. I mean, every episode, the series by and large, at least until they get into like season 2 with the adventures of Batman and Robin, has a very distinct art design. But this one is just a little bit different because it feels like more real,
more gritty.
Yes,
it's more down to earth, I'd say.
It's
a lot more real life. It's less big muscle Bane like villains. There's less thing. It's just more Batman saving the people. Doing what the reason he started with. Trying to make Gotham a better place. And what better place than where it all started, where his parents died.
Yes, Park. Well, what was known as Park Row at one point is now known as simply Crime Alley, and it was the street on which Thomas and Martha were shot.
Yes,
in front of Bruce, and you brought up something very interesting, John. The fact that it seems the art design and the animation is very gritty. It's very
Oh yeah,
real. It has a weight and a heaviness to it that you don't
yeah,
that isn't often seen. You see the trash and the litter. You see rats running around on the street and what
oh,
have you. And honestly, that for me is. I thought that was a
yeah.
very interesting touch
They were really
with.
good at showing the depression and how bad
Mhm,
it was for the poor, and all the things they had to go through. People out
mhm,
in the streets, people struggling to survive. Just the general lifestyle, how bad. They didn't spare any detail. They wanted you to know how bad it was. And
mhm.
it really worked. It was sad to see, but
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Oh.
that's
Mhm.
Crime Alley. You always get one part of town that's always a bit down the dumps, like either the
Yeah.
Bronx or certain streets in Glasgow. It's
Mhm.
all the same. Unfortunately, it's just one of the less developed areas, unfortunately. But
Mhm.
at the same time, the people they wouldn't change a thing. They love it. It's their homes. They didn't want to
Yes.
leave. They
Yeah.
that was where they grew up. That was where they were born, and
Mhm.
they didn't care how bad things were. They did not want to leave, and many of them didn't even have anywhere else to go. So
Yeah.
a shame.
Yeah, very true. And I'll bring up Keely Chow's comment here because it does have a lot of merit. Park Row was a nice neighborhood, but economic decline, middle class families moving to other neighborhoods in the suburbs led to Park Row becoming crime alley. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they actually show a nice little overview of that with the report by Summer Gleason for the news station there in Gotham.
Yeah.
Now now you brought up a very good point there, John. With,
Mhm.
what you were saying, and actually Leslie Thompson makes a good comment towards the end of the episode, and she's
She
like,
does. Yeah, she
"This
was
was
she
this
was
was
great
this
as
was
the
such
doc.
a
Diana
yeah."
Mulder, who was great as the Doctor in this.
Yes, yeah, and she actually does, I think, make one or two other appearances. I think at least in season one of
Mhm.
Batman. Um, but she's like, this was such a lovely street. And she's like, good people used to live in Park Row, and Batman Bruce says, good people still do live
Yeah, they do.
in Park
Mhm.
Row.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It's not the people's fault
Mhm.
that things are the bad. It's a lot is to do with the crime.
Yes.
That's why Batman wanted to do. He wanted to eliminate the crime. He wanted to bring
Yes.
the people out of the gutter, make the world a better place. But it's so difficult because you know, there's just so much crime. Just doesn't stop. You know,
Yeah,
there's
and you're-
sorry,
no,
someone's chopping at my door. So on you go,
that's
mate.
all
I'll
right,
let
but
you shut up for a second.
okay, that's fine. Well, and the thing I will say in terms of the episode is you're dealing with Roland Daggett. I will say this: found the opening of the episode very interesting for the simple fact that it's kind of a bait and switch because you see him looking over a street and you see all of those explosions taking place, and then you pull back and you realize, oh, it's a model. It's not the real thing. And you've got Ed Asner as Roland Daggett, who's talking to Nitro, the henchman, and then Crocker, who I guess is one of Daggett's henchmen or whatever. And I'm going to ask you a question, John. Did
Mhm.
you notice that the design of Crocker was I thought was kind of reminiscent of Robert Mitchum, the actor?
Yes, yes,
Okay, I wasn't the only one
he
that
did.
caught that. Yeah. Now the voice didn't
Yeah,
sound like Robert
I
Mitchum, but
wonder.
the
Yeah, it was probably
mhm,
based maybe on the shape and the face and stuff like that. You tried to make him
mhm,
look like him, maybe. So yeah,
yeah,
probably.
yeah, and I thought that opening of the episode was very clever because you thought, holy crap, Batman really screwed up here.
Oh
You're
yeah,
like, what the heck? And then it pulls back and it turns out, oh, it's just a model. It's just a demonstration of what this guy Nitro is going to do.
It reminds
And
me of
mhm.
the Beetlejuice opening where they had the model and you don't know what's happening, and then all of a sudden you see this big spider and it's like, what the hell is going on here? Oh, it's just a
Oh,
model.
Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got what you. I didn't quite catch what you were saying, but when you Beetlejuice, yeah, when they're doing the pan
Yeah.
over the scale model of the town
Yeah.
of
And it looked
well, I
exactly like the town, so you thought it really was, the
so yeah.
artwork and the design that was put into this.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've always wanted to go see some of those, the wee miniature villages, where everything's miniature. I would love to go see something like that. The amount
Yeah.
of detail and art that goes into those
Mm-hmm.
models are oh,
Oh,
fantastic.
I've got a friend that I used to go to church with, and he does that as a hobby. He builds scale model towns and railroads and everything, and he's really good at it. So, yeah, Keely Chow, Batman encounters a lot of hired thugs in this episode. He does. Now he does encounter
Yeah.
that one guy that lives there in a crime alley. He's not a thug or anything. He's a guy. He's an indigent as far as we can tell. And
Yeah.
all Mountains of Elysium. I live in an area that was shunned as an irredeemable ghetto. The people said F that came together and made their little corner of Cork a safe, friendly, and well kept area. And there are good people everywhere. Yeah,
Oh, I
Elysium,
know
very.
exactly. The communities make it's not the government, it's not the councils, it's the community that
It
makes
is.
these people. I used to come from a wee village out in the
Mm-hmm.
country, and it had
Mm-hmm.
nothing, literally nothing. One wee shop and a pub. And
Mm-hmm.
the community came together, and we bought the pub and we turned it into like a meeting hall for everyone where we could hold events and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
it just sparked so much joy in that. And now there's more for kids to do. You've got play areas, you've got
Mm-hmm.
things where people can socialize. It's no longer just a pub for you to go and have a drink. Now you can go, you can get some actual food, you
Mm-hmm.
can go have some fun, you can have some games. And it's just so amazing to see what, can be done if you put your mind to it and when people come together. And, that's what, yeah, I think Gotham needs to do, just like
Mm-hmm.
at the end of, do you remember the Batman Dark Knight movie? Where the
Mm-hmm.
people rise up against to kick the outsiders out. They're like, not in
Yes.
our city. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. Let's get him. Help Batman. Yeah.
Well, actually, there is a scene like that in The Dark Knight Rises, but there's actually a scene like that in the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire,
Yes.
if you
Yes.
remember and
Exactly.
everything.
Yes,
So
I
that
do.
came out, yeah.
Well,
And
yeah.
Keely,
Spider Man was trying to save uh,
the
the
trolley,
trolley and
yeah.
also trying to save Mary Jane. And yeah, Goblin was trying to take advantage of that, and they saved him. And it's just so great to see because it's not the first time it happens. Also on the train where they stand between Doc Ock and Peter, it's like you want to get to him, you gotta get through me and me and me, and he was like, okay. It was so awesome to see people come together and as a community, and that's what we need more these days is stuff like that
Yes,
that gives hope and joy,
yes.
which is sadly lacking unfortunately these days, but it's
In
good to
some
see
cases, yes.
when it's done. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll bring Keely Chow. The guy with the rifle is just angry he lost his job. He's going to be evicted
Yeah.
from the home he was living in. Well, and the interesting thing about this episode is you really see Batman interacting with more of the citizens of Gotham in a very well. Okay, for one thing, you see him trying to stop that runaway trolley
Yeah.
midway through the episode when he's trying to get to the other side of town to stop
did,
the explosions.
did you ever wonder why couldn't the people help themselves, just stand up and put on the brakes? I'm like, why does Batman have to do everything,
Good
I
point.
don't know.
Very
Maybe the brakes were cut. Maybe there was a fault. I don't know. But it just
well.
seems very weird to me. All I seen was the
Well,
guy was knocked out, and I'm like,
mhm.
Okay, you're trying to tell me that only Batman can save you. Only Batman.
Well, I think well, and I do understand, and I get what you're saying. I can't say I disagree. The other thing
Yeah.
is you have to be trained to operate a vehicle like that, and other people on there
Oh,
may not have known
so it's
how
not
to
just just
operate
put
it.
your foot down and hit the brakes. No, no.
Now,
Okay.
one thing that was an outcome of that is the Batmobile lost its wheels,
Yes. Uh, I don't
and
think the
unfortunately,
Joker got away. At least not this time.
well, it wasn't the Joker; it was Daggett got
I
away. He
know.
got away with
Yeah.
it,
I
but
know. He unfortunately was just late to stop the other bombs, but at least he
mhm.
saved the good doctor. So at least
And
there
well,
was some.
he saved most of the buildings that were still
Oh, he
occupied.
did. Yeah.
But there was one other thing I wanted to bring up, and it was a callback to um, the '89 movie, the Batman '89, where
Yeah.
he hits the controller and the Batmobile seals.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah.
loved
That
that. I
was
was like,
Bat-
I
Batman.
forgot it could do that.
Yeah, that happened. I remember that from the Batman Returns. You know,
Well, and it
I
also
loved
well,
all
he
that.
says it does it in the '89 and it does it in Return as well.
Mhm.
And basically now he's in the movies he says shields and the shields go up,
Yeah,
but
it's probably like an early version where it's not voice activated. You know,
yeah,
he's
but
probably not
honestly I
covered
think it
that
works
yet.
just as good. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
I mean, you know, who needs a voice activate? Just a button, you know.
yeah, just a little
But
controller and a button.
maybe there's a security reason why he changes it so it only works for his
Maybe.
voice. You know,
Maybe.
so
Yeah.
maybe there's a feature. Maybe someone
Yeah.
gets a hold of the control and opens it.
Yeah,
Um,
good point. Um the other interesting thing when Batman's trying to locate Leslie Thompson, he ends up going to her apartment, to her home,
yeah. Mhm.
and he finds the scrapbook that says memories on it, and he's looking through
Yeah,
it, and he sees some of the news clippings that she's kept from earlier in her career as a doctor and working with the Waynes, and then of
yeah,
course the one
yeah.
clip.
That was
Uh,
very touching. It was almost like she was kind of like a mother to him. You know, where
yeah,
Alfred was the father, she was kind of like a motherly
a surrogate mother, and
Yeah,
I love even for an animated series that the artwork on the clip, the newspaper clipping that shows her holding him, and then at the end you see him kneeling there in the middle of the street putting the two roses on the sidewalk,
yeah. That's another
and
callback to the movies as
oh
well.
man,
I love that.
well, and then her kneeling down next to him and embracing
Yeah,
him, and you know
yeah.
it's very
It's
beautiful.
good that he has someone with her because in the movies it's just himself that
Yeah.
has to visit. So it's good. Because I don't know, was Doctor Leslie in the movies? I can't remember.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Thompson, I think Thompson, I am pretty sure was a character that was created for the series. Possibly,
Yeah,
she might have been in the comics. I'm not entirely sure on, to be
I'm not
honest
sure
with you.
myself.
But regardless, I think the character did have some
Oh
added.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Diane
it makes sense because he would have to go through so much therapy and psychological help to make sure he was
yeah,
okay, turned out
yeah,
naturally. So yeah,
mhm,
it makes sense that she would know him very well and probably
mhm.
know the Waynes before that. So yeah,
Yeah. Well, and it all depends on the continuity. If Thomas was a doctor, we don't know in this particular
yeah, it
iteration if
doesn't
he
really
was.
go much into the
Yeah,
details. Yeah,
but at least in now, if you want to connect it to say like the Nolan trilogy, where Thomas was a doctor and he was a
mm,
bit businessman, and he did Wayne Enterprises was within the family, but he passed it off to, as he said, more interested people.
yeah, yeah,
You can make that connection that way that Thomas and Leslie, prospectively, did work together in the medical
yeah.
field. So,
Mhm,
and obviously being of
mhm.
doing very well for themselves to do in
Oh,
that. but the as I mentioned, this episode doesn't deal with some big battle between Batman and some sort of costume thug. And honestly, that was the great thing about this series is the
Yeah,
diversity of storytelling that they put into a series like this that was an animated series.
yeah,
And I mean, you get such a broad swath of stories within the series that you've got episodes like this, and then
mhm,
you've got like episodes that focus on the Joker. You've got episodes that focus on in one of his schemes, or you've got episodes that deal with Ra's al Ghul or Raish al Ghul, depending on which
yeah.
way you pronounce it.
Depending on how you pronounce it, yeah. I always
So,
thought they were like two separate characters. Like it was passed on. Like there used to be
mhm.
Rish, and then it was passed down to Raz. I was never quite sure, or was it just different
it
pronunciations?
it's honestly a friend of mine that
Because I
go ahead.
know, in at least in the Nolan movies, there was two like Raz. Like originally, I think it was that Asian guy, and then Liam Neeson took the mantle.
Well,
Um,
actually, the thing is that one guy was a decoy. Liam
oh,
Neeson
was it?
was Raish the whole time. Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
didn't
Raish
know that.
was.
I thought,
Mhm.
oh, that's quite smart. That's quite smart.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I thought
that's
it was just like passed down, like he was next in line. He was the only survivor, so he took over,
mhm,
which would have made sense to me. The Asian guy kind of looks like the guy because originally,
mhm, mhm.
Raj is kind of like Arabic, Asian background.
Yeah.
Didn't
Mhm.
Yeah. So that kind of made sense to me. But I thought Liam Neeson did a fantastic
Oh
job in the
yeah.
role. Yeah.
I brought him up in my Mr. Freeze video as a potential candidate to play Victor Freeze in a live action Mr. Freeze movie.
Yeah,
He
yeah, I
decided
could
he
see
wanted to
that.
do it,
He's definitely got the kind
which
of doctor, more sympathetic kind of
mhm,
side to him,
yeah. Well,
where he can also be a badass, but also at the same time,
mhm,
you love him, you can associate with him.
yes.
Um, so yeah, I can
Yeah.
see why you think that he definitely a good choice.
Well, and he
Um,
has, if you look at the design of the character through the comics, especially, and through the animated series, um,
that definitely makes
Neeson,
more sense than Schwarzenegger.
yeah, which kind of harkens back to like the '60s series with the design of the characters, where you had characters like Otto Preminger or Eli Wallach, who played who played Mister Freeze.
Yeah,
But you know, getting back to the episode, Crime Alley. Um, the thing for me was I love the fact that you were seeing Batman interacting with people in
yes, and
the city
I,
of
I
Gotham.
love how
Yeah, obviously,
a lot of them weren't afraid of him. Many of them embraced him. There was some that were like surprised, like it's
mhm.
Batman. It's like, oh wow, and then you had someone
Yeah,
like the homeless guy who was scared of him, like, oh
he
no,
was
please don't
scared.
hurt
Yeah,
me.
yeah, he was scared of him. But at the end of at the end of their encounter, Batman just leaves him alone because he
Yeah,
realizes, hey,
yeah, because yeah,
this guy isn't some sort of criminal or anything. He's just
yeah,
trying to get by.
yeah,
The one part that I found a little bit comedic was the with the whole issue with the guy up on the side of the building with the account that works for Daggett, and
yeah.
Batman just walks up and he's talking to one of the SWAT team members, and the guy's like, "This is what we're going to do," and he's like, "I'll deal with it,"
I'll deal with
and
it. Yeah,
Batman,
he's
he's
like,
like,
who are
"I think."
you? And then
And
he just walked past him. He's like,
Batman just
oh
walks by
right,
him, and he's like, "I think
okay,
I can
you
handle
got
this."
this. Okay.
And the expression on the SWAT team
That
officer's face, like, "Oh, it's you. Well, okay, we'll let
that
you do your thing."
that kind of reminds me of RoboCop when he showed up and he's
Hmm.
like, keep him talking. And he's like, what are you gonna do? I'll be back.
Yeah, totally. But And the other part about the episode, I mean, I know we brought up the whole thing about the Batmobile going into like shield mode, but really seeing
Yeah,
the functionality of what all the Batmobile could do. I mean, you see the wingtips move up and
yeah,
reposition
yeah,
when he's trying to
yeah.
stop the trolley, and then you
It's
see
slightly different from the movie version,
yes,
because they had a full armor shields, like total armor, like it could probably crash through a building and survive. Where this one, it seems advanced, but not maybe as advanced.
mhm,
Like it looks like it's a bit more fragile. Um, whereas the other one was literally built like a tank practically, and then you had the Nolan ones, which was a tank.
mhm. Well, then
Um,
of course, we're going to be getting the Bat Tank in Justice League next week.
yeah, yeah.
If you've seen the trailers, if we get done with Batman, we might talk about
I've not
that
seen.
just a little
I'm
bit.
trying not to watch all the trailers because I don't want to get too
I
spoiled.
understand.
But yeah,
Yeah, I do understand. Believe me.
yeah,
But yeah, it really shows that while he does have he is a menacing figure. If you understand what he's doing, the people of Gotham, as you mentioned, do very much embrace Batman in a lot of ways, and
yeah,
even obviously Gordon gives him certain latitude to do what he does. And the really heartbreaking thing at the end of the episode is when they've got Daggett dead to rights, and that was the only thing about the episode that really kind of bothered
aye, that
me.
he got away. Yeah,
Yeah, that he got away with it. I mean, he just kind of shouts down the two lackeys, the two thugs that were working for him.
yeah.
And Alfred's like, don't do it. He's not worth it. And you've got an appointment to keep.
I know, I know.
And that was,
Uh,
you know,
you you could imagine Batman how frustrated he must be, but he knows at the same
mhm,
time he can't overstep that line. He needs to follow the steps of the law. Otherwise, he's no better than the criminals.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but like everyone, he'll get his day in jail. I can't
Hmm.
remember if we see him again later on in the series. Maybe.
Well, we haven't necessarily been going in order of how the series should be
Yeah,
watched. I've been going in the order of how the series is laid out on HBO Max.
yeah. That
I actually think
you're,
this was the
you're going
first.
by the production release
Mm,
date, whereas the actual order is much different. I think this is
yeah,
like episode 12 or 13, and the
something
other,
like that.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, so that because I've got the collection myself, and I was like,
Mm.
what one is he doing today? And I was like, okay, we did those two. I was like, okay, next one is this. I was like, wait a minute, that's not Appointment in Crime Alley. Because
Well,
Appointment in Crime Alley was like way down the list. In fact,
mhm.
I think it was more like number 20 in the series.
Well, now
Which
the
is a bit
interesting
weird
thing,
because it does seem like an earlier episode because it
it
shows
does
him
have that feeling,
doing.
does it? I mean, this almost
Yeah,
feels like it should have.
this should
It
have been
almost
like the first one, almost. I
Yeah,
would think.
because it does kind of go back into the lore and the background of Batman in a lot of ways. So
Yeah,
and not to mention, I think this should have been like the chronological first appearance of
probably.
Roland Daggett, because we see him again in the Parter Fate of Clay with the introduction of the character of the villain Clayface.
Clayface, yeah.
So I don't know if maybe this should have been the first one that was watched, but regardless of whichever way you watch it, um, I think eventually Daggett does get taken down by Batman or by the Gotham PD or whatever the case may be.
Mm.
So, but yeah, and I'll say
Probably,
one more thing.
probably Harvey Dent or someone will take him down later on. I can't remember.
Yeah,
It's been so long.
probably.
I'm what rewatching it again as we're
Hmm.
covering it. So
Yeah.
I'm reliving it myself because it's been so long since I've seen it.
Hmm.
But it's still as good as I remember it. And
Hmm.
I'm so happy that my daughter loves it as well because I've got something to share
Yes.
for to pass on to
Yeah.
next generation.
Yeah. Oh,
And that
and
shows that it still holds up even to today. That even
yes.
today's kids can love it, and that's what was so good about it was it wasn't just a dumbed down cartoon. It challenged kids, it gave them didn't treat them like idiots, and it was well drawn, well written. It was brilliant, and that's why
Yeah.
it's so good.
Well, and this is a point I've brought up previously as we've reviewed this series.
Mhm.
This show was written to be very deep,
Oh
but
yeah,
they didn't talk down to the audience, which obviously was kids.
yeah.
But the thing is, even go, I
The
was
great thing is
then,
even adults can like it though as well.
yeah, yeah,
Because it's got some
totally,
serious tones in there, and it's
yes,
the the art style. Adults would just love. Like, see the. I always looked forward to the
I
opening
don't,
title card because they were so well drawn. Like this one, the appointment in Crime Alley, where you've just got pure red sky and then a black silhouette. It's so
mm-hmm,
simple but so effective.
mm-hmm,
It really goes the whole kind of dark theme, and like the blood and the that gets spilt in Crime Alley.
mm-hmm,
It's just so perfect. The colors is fantastic.
yeah,
They
and
really knew what they were doing back then.
mm-hmm,
And that's why
and
I loved all the hand drawn stuff back then, because I think this was hand drawn originally, wasn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong.
no, I agree with you.
Speaking of Superman, did you catch a possible reference to the Superman series on the side of the van when Batman catches the conqueror?
Um,
It said J. Olsen on the van,
yes, I did see that. Yeah,
and then that made me think, oh, Jimmy Olsen from Superman.
yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm just typing in the private chat.
Oh yeah, have to talk to the chat as well. Have to thank the people.
Okay,
It's them that make it.
I'm
hey,
Batman.
hey, Andrew, good to see you, bud.
I thought I'd surprise you by pretending I'm someone else.
You may be Batman, but I'm Fat Man.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just here.
So, I thought I'd pop in to say hello.
Okay.
I've got, I've got, I've got the pointy ears.
And you want to know something? Last night, I was watching Day the Film Junkie and did a watch party of that piece of crap film from 2017 for the last time.
Yeah, I
It's
think
the
I heard
last
something
time.
about that. So,
Mm.
well, I think
Sorry, I
we've
missed
pretty
that.
much, covered Appointment at Crime Alley. We can move on to
Yeah,
POV and
yeah,
discuss that for a few minutes. Now, again, this isn't an episode that deals with any of your typical costumed villains or
yeah.
anything. This very much is, um,
Basic
it's like a
basic
police episode.
gangsters. Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's basically,
We don't. In
uh,
fact, we don't see Batman much until the very end. This is
yeah.
more
which is a
focused
shame because I'm the star of the show.
Yeah. Eh, what I like about it is it's like outsiders looking in, so it's like how they perceive Batman,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
we
it's
see
basically
all the
the perspective of normal people.
yeah. Well, not always, not always. I mean, Harvey Bullock,
Oh
he's
yeah,
made
oh yeah, that guy. That's why I always work with Gordon.
Yeah, in terms of this episode, I do like the fact
Batman.
that
When you gonna get a voice modulator? Because that must hurt your throat.
Hey, at least I'm not Christian Bale.
hey.
You
There's
did
nothing.
okay.
Okay,
You did
I'm joking.
okay.
I'm
I
joking.
know you are, but it's all right.
Because I'm
You know,
Batman.
Yeah.
well, technically speaking,
Hey, we got my. Hey, why is your face on mine?
because
Don't put your face on Batfleck. He's got that chin. I like the chin.
I'm Batman.
Welcome to the Bartverse.
Hey.
Spider-Man's got the Spider-Verse. We've got the Bartverse. We've got two Batmen right here.
Imagine if we had that first movie with all the live action Batmans.
Wait a
Keaton,
minute,
Hood.
you're not Batman. You're
Hey,
Batboy.
No, hey, I'm off character real quick. Imagine we have Bat first movie
not
with
only
like Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale, Affleck, Pattinson. Imagine we have all of them together.
I think
well,
you
not
take a good
only
Robin.
okay, not only am I Batman, but I'm also
May you come with me?
I'm also
Wrong music
Superman.
for the wrong Superman.
Superman's supposed to take off the glasses.
And also wrong music, dude.
I hate
Well,
that
you know,
music's actually
copyright.
pretty good. So you shut your face. And
No,
not only am I
no,
super.
wait, hold on. The reason why I said it because that music belongs to Cavill. That music belongs to Cavill.
Okay, and Joker, you're gonna have to turn on your camera because I'm not letting anybody in that I don't know who it is.
Wait, Joker? What's my arch enemy doing here?
Wait, which Joker? Is it Jared Leto Joker?
Or is it Jack Nicholson?
Oh, okay, it's Aaron. All right. Oh, good grief.
Joker.
Okay,
Joker.
not only am I Batman, not only am I Superman, I am also
Batman.
I trust in you. You can't trick me anymore.
I'm also
That's Jack,
Spider-Man.
not my Spider-Man.
That guy's a red.
Hey.
You know who my Spider-Man is. You know who it is. I bet you have it.
So you're basically like Ray.
What are you doing here, Joker?
Jedi.
Apparently the Hobgoblin has the same voice as me in the series.
Wait, you talking about that Mark Hamill guy?
I'm Batman.
Yeah, that Mark Hamill guy. You know,
Hey,
Skywalker.
the guy who played Me by Tim Burton also played Beetlejuice.
You know the difference between you and me, Batman? I don't wear a hockey mask.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well, I'm gonna.
You're supposed to take off the glasses. They're gonna recognize you as Clark Kent.
I don't care.
Yeah, at least I hide my face with a mask.
Oh, by the way, guys, I'm running for presidency in 2024. So vote for me, or I'll kill you.
Oh, now if I stop you, Joker.
All right.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna vote for a guy in a bat suit, or you're gonna vote for someone who's gonna vote for someone who?
Okay. If I have to, I will do this. Now, can we get back on track? Can we get back on topic of POV?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Apologize.
They're just giving their point of views. That's all.
I gotta go fight some crime.
What the heck?
It's always fun.
I let you off, and then you just leave.
They just came to troll. That's all. They were
I know, and Andrew and Aaron, you guys are good. You guys are fine. Trust me.
Yeah.
There we go.
Aaron, you were, dude, you were
normal.
fine. I was just giving you all a hard time. Don't worry about it. So,
What do you rather have as a president, Joker or Lex Luthor?
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
He's not insane.
Would you trust Joker?
No.
With nukes, I wouldn't.
No. I
Then
wouldn't
again-
trust him with a. I would.
Then again, do we really trust Lex?
I wouldn't
I think
trust. Well, I would
Joker
trust
would make
Lex
it
a
wor-
little
make-
bit more than.
Joker would make it fun. Lex Luthor would not make it fun.
It depends on his definition of fun. Like, I don't think laughing gas
With the
is that
Joker.
fun. I don't think dying laughing is fun.
With the Joker, at the very least, you would. It would be like the Purge, and that's not good.
Oh, I can imagine that. can you imagine? He wouldn't be president.
Oh, yeah, I
He
gotta
would be
fix this.
like the judge in court. Order.
Sit back.
Order.
You can see me over my face. Because I'm in my room this time. Sorry.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, you're good, man. Aaron, you're fine, believe me. And believe it or not, even with all those clips, I got no copyright. So, yay! It's only when I'm playing something that has like copyrighted music that I have a problem, because I did that one with the clip of Dr. Evil and it had Hard Knock Life, and I got a copyright claim. No strike, just claim. I was able to fix it. So, but yeah, POV. Let's see if we can salvage the rest of the streams.
So, POV.
I kid.
13th episode of the Batman series.
Which episode is this? The cop episode?
POV.
POV.
It's the one where there's
point of view. Okay.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time we see Montoya.
Yeah, I think so.
I think this is the first time
we see
her.
Yeah, and of course you've got Bullock, and then you've got that one rando rookie officer. I can't remember his name. And you know, I love all their takes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I do, because it gives you
when the rookie says, "Oh, it was amazing." He pointed his finger, and the guy fell down, and he put out his hand, and he shot lightning from his hand, and he threw out his hand, and sparks came out, and I'm like, calm down. He's not a god. He's Batman. He's not Superman. He doesn't have any powers. But it's interesting to see, you know, from all the folklore and stuff like that people perceive him that way.
He's witch, though. That's a superpower. Oh, that's for that terrible movie. I'm sorry.
Shame on you.
That's the thing, though. It's all about perspective. To a caveman, we would be gods.
Oh,
yeah, of course.
With what we're doing right here. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like that.
Hey, I want to go back in time. Be a god. Let's do it. Let's do it.
No thanks.
They'd probably kill you.
They probably sacrifice us.
You know.
They sacrifice us.
Yeah, they would sacrifice us and try and take our power. It was crazy back then. But yeah, so it starts off as a sting operation that goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
So they're put under investigation by basically, the cop police,
the internal affairs. Yeah.
Yeah. And each one offers up their own story of what happened, and it's an interesting take on, my truth. What is my truth?
Or my perspective, because that's
my
what.
Perspective. And so each one gives a wee part of the whole story. So as they're talking, we're putting the bits together, and we're finding out ourselves what the actual story is and what happened. And it's just interesting to see that not each one has the whole story, but together they do. And it's very true that from each point of view, not everyone is 100% true. Everyone's perspective differs. Like if you're colorblind,
did you guys
what
see
color
that?
am I wearing?
I know I tweeted you about it, Master, about this. I think. Did you see that? Did you see that video?
I haven't, but I may watch it here in a little bit after we're done.
It's very good. It's very good.
Keely Chow. Remember when Renee Montoya was the only lesbian in Gotham? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know that the character was a lesbian, nor do I really care. And I'll bring up Dennis Medina's comment here. I think she's talking. I think Keely's talking about in the series Gotham, the live action series.
No, she's a lesbian in the comics too.
Oh, is she? Okay. Well, I don't care.
And in the Birds of Prey movie, she's also one.
Don't mention that movie. Don't mention that movie.
I'm just telling you. I'm just saying the character is lesbian. I'm not saying. I know the movie. I didn't like the movie either. I'm just saying the character.
The Harley Quinn show. According to them, every woman is a lesbian. It's crazy.
And yeah.
I love lesbians, but no. It doesn't add to the character. I don't give a damn.
Exactly.
That's not who she is. She's a hardworking, kick-ass detective.
Yes.
That's who she is.
Yeah.
That's the story. No one cares about her sex life or what she does afterwards.
No one
Yeah,
gives a
yeah.
crap. So,
And
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Batman's the one who's.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Keely Chow to I think it's to Montoya. Batman's the
I
one who saved her
laughed.
butt.
I laughed when Bullock says, I saved them. Batman messed up, and he was just lucky. I managed to get us both out of there. Oh, yeah, sure. You saved Batman. Yeah.
Well, and the other interesting thing about this episode, it does present how the Gotham PD perceives Batman in a lot of ways, and it gives you perspective on how three different people view Batman themselves. I mean, Montoya sees him in a very fair and balanced way. The Rookie sees him as like this supernatural figure, which was was Bruce's intent.
I think Montoya kind of idolizes him because she was
Maybe
like,
a little.
oh, he was so fast, he was in shape, he kicked butt, he could handle himself.
Well,
But
he
then,
technically he can.
Oh, he can, aye. But just the way he talked, I think she kind of idolizes him. She admires him, and we see that later on in the show where
What happened?
That's Sean. I think just that he's talking to somebody. The interesting thing about this episode, and Aaron, well, Aaron, why don't you go ahead, because I don't want to monopolize the conversation.
Episode, but I don't remember much about this episode. But based on you're telling me about the details of each cop views him.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. And it gives when I'm hearing from, I obviously seen it, but I don't remember much from what I'm hearing from you guys describing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great episode to give perspective on each cop, different kind of cops, like Montoya, the Rookie, and Bullock. Bullock doesn't like Batman because he thinks the law should be taking everything, and the law should be in his own hands, right? And the police, whatever, and that Batman should not be the law of a vigilante. Where Montoya respects Batman because Batman doesn't go over the line. He doesn't cross the line.
Yeah.
And the Rookie sees him as a myth or a god, whatever, because he's young. He's young, right? As he gets older, he'll different perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Well, and the interesting thing about this episode, as I started to say, the interesting thing about this episode is we get three different perspectives on the Batman. But we also see how the Batman can function to a certain degree within law enforcement. He can act to a certain degree in ways that regular law enforcement can't. Yeah. And I think, honestly, that was a really cool dynamic that they were able to set up through this episode. And I do love, by the end of the episode, Gordon comes in and he tells, I think the guy's name is Hackle, the internal affairs agent. He's like, enough of this witch hunt. None of these officers did anything wrong, because they end up suspending Montoya. I think all three of them was suspended without pay or whatever it is until they can resolve it. And then, of course, she ends up she puts together the pieces and realizes where Batman's going to end up. And she comes in a manner of speaking and
the docs.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it actually has to do with the deal going down through the gangster Rupert Thorne, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit since I've seen this episode, but I did watch it the other day, and they end up getting all three of them end up getting the collar. They share the collar, and Montoya's holding Bullock's badge, and she's like, "What was that, Harvey?" And he's like, "Thanks a lot," and takes his badge back.
That's the thing. Batman, though it was him, kind of, he doesn't want any credit. He just wants to do his job. The police can have the credit all they want. And she did solve it. He was just ahead of the game. Because he is the detective. In fact, it was interesting to show that he allowed them to capture him. You know, he had everything under control. He was
Mhm.
always a step up. He wanted to be taken to the boss so that he could find out who was behind it all, and he did. And
Yeah.
it was just so interesting to see, you know, that he's quite the smart guy. You know, they thought they had captured him, but no, he could have escaped any time. He was just biding his time, and that's Batman for you. You know,
Harvestberry Sue.
He's
I don't
bulletproof.
know about that.
He's joking.
I don't know about
Dan's joking. Dan is
Ah.
joking. It's good with.
he's bulletproof,
Well, if he's
but not acid proof.
And you know what's a good Harvey Bullock? The one in Gotham. Who played him? Donald Logue or somebody?
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of Habit Dane.
never
He was a
seen it.
great Harvey Bullock. You never seen it? He was a good Harvey Bullock.
He was, yeah.
Hmm.
I liked him in Gotham. He was a great actor.
Kelly Chow. I did not know that. So interesting.
That happens. Yeah, she does become Lou Creston. It's true.
Yeah.
Fun
didn't
fact
know
about
either.
the question.
Thanks for sharing that. I didn't know that myself.
Well, and fun fact, in the Justice League animated series, the character of the question is actually voiced by Jeffrey Combs.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Mhm.
That's the thing. I recognize that voice, but I struggle with. I'm terrible with names. I'm like, where do I know them from? And like always.
have you ever seen Frighteners, which was a Peter Jackson film? It was the one that starred
I
Michael J.
have,
Fox,
yeah.
where he could see ghosts.
Yes.
Jeffrey Combs played the one FBI agent that was
Jeffrey
little.
Yeah.
Little
Oh, I
out
remember him now. Yes, I remember him now. Yes.
Batman
He was-
animated series had
He was also in
a lot
Star
of great
Trek
voice
and
actors.
Battlestar, and yeah, he gets
Ron
allowed.
Perlman as Clayface.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I'll have to double check it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was. I believe Ron Perlman was Clayface. You know.
I'll have to double check that. You might be right.
Huh.
So
He was in the original Hellboy movies, which is way better than that shitty remake that we got a year ago.
I
Yeah,
thought
well-
the remake was all right, but the writing was a bit. And the design of Hellboy, I didn't like the new design.
Well, depending on how
credit to the
everything.
actors, they're all good actors.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the actors in the new line, but there was something missing that we didn't get. It was too serious. It wasn't fun enough.
Yeah.
The story, you know. I love Mila Jovovich in Resident Evil, but I didn't like her in that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Now next week, next Wednesday night at least, provided nothing comes up, I am going to be doing a stream talking about the Hellboy movies, the Ron Perlman ones.
Oh,
So,
the good ones.
and it will be.
Those. I
it
love
will
those
be-
movies.
It will be.
No tongue.
It will be both the live action and the animated ones because they did I think 2 or 3 of the
Yes,
animated ones.
Two
So-
animated, yeah.
They did. So we'll be spending some time next Wednesday night.
You know
I got
speaking of dying is easy. You know the actor that played what's his name? He's in also in Star Trek the New Discovery, plays the alien, and he also plays the fish character in.
Abraham Sapien.
Oh, yeah.
And Doug Jones, the actor Doug Jones. He's in Doug Jones. He's in Dying is Easy, the Batman video, YouTube fan made. He's
Okay.
in it. For like a brief couple seconds.
Okay, I will
He's
definitely.
playing the Riddler. He's playing the Riddler for like
okay.
a few seconds. He's just a cameo. That's it.
Yeah, I will definitely probably anything after we're done here. I'll definitely go check that out
It's
because
25 minutes long. It's 25
Is
minutes
it?
long, but it's good.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Did you ever see The Shape of Water?
Oh yes.
I'm not
No,
that.
wasn't him?
That just didn't really seem very interesting to me. I like Guillermo
Well,
del
No, I
Toro.
didn't see it.
Just the
Was he supposed to do Hobbit?
British guy in that.
Toro?
He reminded
Wasn't
me.
He
of
was going
the-
to, but he never did.
Yeah.
And Peter Jackson took
So.
the reins. Yeah.
Yeah, because they drug their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They say that.
Anyway.
Why is Guillermo del Toro obsessed with fishmen? Because he seems to do them a lot.
well, he has a thing for like creature features, which I actually kind of respect because he does those very well.
Does he? He's gonna do a Creature Lagoon
It's
movie or something?
It's a nice call back to the Creature from the Black Lagoon, I think.
Dennis, because
Dennis,
he's already. Yeah, go ahead.
Dennis, I've brought up your comment a couple of times now, bud. And yeah, I do agree. I'll have to wait and see, because I never watched Gotham PD. I don't really know when I'm going to have the time to, and I never watched the series Gotham. So I am eventually going to watch Dying is Easy, but I'm going to have to do it later. So
well, the PD show is not out for like it hasn't been. It's just been announced. So it hasn't been like there's no news on it since it's been announced. So, and Gotham is a good show for a few seasons, and then becomes like ridiculous. So, but
no, did it?
The Joker, the actor who plays the Joker, the two Jokers. There's two Jokers.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Why come down to get it?
I'm just being told it's dinner time, so I'll unfortunately have to go, my lovelies.
Well, that's okay, because we've pretty much covered both episodes. We're gonna wrap up, so that's fine. So,
okay.
And I've got another stream at 2:30 anyway, and I want to get some lunch down in me before I do that. So, but yeah, guys, great stream, and thank you all for coming in today, and even to Andrew Casali, aka the other Batman. Thank you, bud, for being here. I appreciate it, and everybody in the chat. Thank you for tuning in today. Glad you all enjoyed it. Whether you've been following me for a while or this is your first time here, glad that you tuned in today. So, I do want to let you all know real quick. Next week is going to be a busy week for me because both on Thursday and Friday. Yeah.
Same thing,
well, for various reasons. I've got 2 job interviews next week, one on Thursday and one on Friday. So I don't know when I'm going to schedule my next Batman or my next Babylon 5 review stream yet. But I will let you all know as soon as I get the details of that straightened out. And I do want to let you all know I will be doing, like I mentioned, I'll be doing a review. I'll be doing a live stream Wednesday night discussing the Hellboy movies. So, and anyway.
I won't be doing a show next week. You know how I did a show yesterday? I won't be doing a show next Thursday. Most likely, I won't be doing a show. I might move it to Wednesday or Friday because, I'll be watching the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, totally. So, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. You all are awesome. Thank you for being here. Glad you all enjoyed it. And for those of you that'll catch this on the replay, I hope you all enjoyed the discussion. And make sure, of course, that you comment down below with your thoughts about anything we discussed today. So, Aaron, John, you guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to have both of you on. So, but yeah, Any Robot Hours, yeah, definitely. I'm actually going to be. I'll catch that in a minute. Next Thursday afternoon, I'll be going live with a special installment of Afternoons with the Ambassador, and I'll have a very special guest, Any Robot Hours. So, hope you all tune in for that as well. So. And yeah, it's where I woke up this morning and I'm up to 385. So we're 15 away from 400. So as soon as we hit 400, I will schedule that Last Starfighter watch party and we'll go from there. So anyways, folks, I will see you later this afternoon. And until then, these are the Ambassadors. Signing off.